10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Beginning pitch over. Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
The Harvest Goddess is on her way to space for IQPS. Electron has launched cleanly off the pad at Launch Complex 1 and is now coming up against 700 kilometers per hour. In just a second, we should hear from our operators that Electron has reached max Q, which is the point in the flight when Electron is experiencing maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Vehicle is
It's the
supersonic,
first
approaching max
milestone
Q.
as we listen out for the launch. So let's bring up the audio channels now from MCC.
Cleared max Q.
That was a nice, clean pass through max Q for Electron, and we are now about a minute or so away from staging and main engine cutoff on the first stage. Now, what should happen next is that all 9 Rutherford engines on the bottom of stage 1 will shut down as planned, and just a couple of seconds or so before the second stage is released from its separation locks. Once we are clear of the first stage, the Rutherford engine on stage 2 will ignite to propel Electron and IQPS onward to our target altitude for this mission. Let's keep an eye out now for the view across both stages as those events take place.
Stage 1 propulsion holding nominal. Stand by for MECO in roughly 30 seconds. "15 seconds to staging. Entered burnout detect mode. MECO confirmed. Stage separation confirmed. Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
A clean separation from the first stage as planned, and a beautiful start up there by the Rutherford engine on the second stage. That second stage's velocity is now at more than 8,000 kilometers an hour with an altitude of 95 kilometers after that separation event. Next up will be fairing separation for Electron when the rocket's nose cone halves split and fall away to expose the Kushinada payload to space for the first time.
Fairing jettison confirmed.
And there you have it. Electron's
Stage 2
two
guidance
fairing
is
halves
nominal.
have jettisoned from Electron, and on your screen you'll see the Harvest
Stage 2
Goddess
propulsion
safely
nominal.
attached to the kick stage and ready to make her debut on orbit. Taking a look now at the propulsion monitoring camera at the bottom of stage 2 shows that Rutherford is continuing nominally since engine startup, which happened just a few moments ago.
We have another 5 minutes to go for the second stage engine burn until the next separation event. This Rutherford engine's performance can reach up to 5,800 pounds of force in the vacuum conditions of space, with a specific impulse of 343 seconds.
Stage 2 propulsion
Now,
holding
specific
nominal.
impulse is a measure of performance in telling us how efficient an engine can be. One of the pretty special things about both our sea level and vacuum optimized Rutherford engines is that they're actually battery powered. The propellant pumps on these engines are driven by brushless DC motors powered by batteries. Now, since the amount of time the second stage engine needs to run is longer than the capacity of the first battery packs, Electron needs to perform a power switch over to a fresh set of batteries to keep the engine running. The flight computer does this while the engine is still burning hot. That's why we call it the battery hot swap. In a few moments, you should hear that call out from our launch operators, and if you keep an eye out on your screen, you should see those batteries eject in the next few moments.
HVB discharge holding nominal, approaching hot swap in roughly 30 seconds.
Throttling down. Battery jettison confirmed.
Confirm hot swap successful.
Nice and clean with that battery hot swap there, and one of the final launch milestones completed on Electron for its 69th mission to space. We are cruising along now at 15,000 kilometers an hour at 220 kilometers in altitude. Just two more key events remain for this first stage of the mission. That is SECO, or second engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, where Electron's kick stage separates from the second stage and gets ready to deploy the payload into orbit.
Nominal.